And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
It's Labor Day weekend, and as we celebrate American labor and sadly say goodbye to summer, the campaign for president really heats up. And I've got a gift for Kamala Harris and company. The Harris campaign, I think, will be wearing these blue Make America Great hats again before too long. I mean, just think about where she's come over the course of the past couple of weeks. She now wants no tax on tips. She now says, let's build a wall, etc., etc. I mean, the list is, as my friend John Kennedy, senator from Louisiana, would say, as long as King Kong's arm. Think about it. She was against fracking, said she absolutely wanted a total ban on fracking. Now, fracking is just fine. She said she wanted the Green New Deal. Now, maybe not. She supported legislation and voted for it that would eliminate internal combustion engine cars and force us all to drive these goofy EVs that the government is now subsidizing. In other words, she wanted to take 285 million. Think about that, 285 million cars off the road. That was her plan. And she was against the wall. In fact, she called it immoral. She called it un-American, and she said it was medieval. All of those are direct quotes from her. But now a wall is okay. She said we shouldn't have criminal charges against those coming across the border. Where am I on that one now? She said she wanted to have felons, in fact, death row inmates, allowed to vote. Where is she on that one now? She wanted to take away private health insurance. She supported the Bernie Sanders plan for that. Where is she on that now? The list just goes on and on and on. And look, people change their minds from time to time. But you don't change your mind on every single issue within a month. That, I think, is the compelling story here. You simply don't change that fast. And if you do, you're required to provide some sort of explanation for it. And in this Dana Bash interview that she did the other night, she didn't provide any explanation. When Dana said, well, why did you change your position? She gave this word salad without any dressing on it that made no sense whatsoever. And the aftermath of that Dana Bash interview was really interesting. I turned on the Communist News Network, CNN, just to see what the other side was saying. And here were these talking heads of the left saying, well, she didn't really hurt herself that badly. It wasn't a total disaster. She didn't really do any harm, which is proof positive that she did. What was very interesting to me in that interview was, if you noticed her body language throughout that interview, and you know, we're in the communications business. We know that the impact of communications is very little what is actually said, but much more how it's said and how it's delivered and how people perceive it. She's looking down the whole time that she's talking with Dana Bash. She either had a crib sheet, which I think is a very real possibility, and we'll come back to that in a second, or there was some reason that she didn't want to look the interviewer and the American people in the eye. And we all know what that means. And it goes to the heart of this dust-up now over the rules regarding the September 10th debate, which the Harris campaign is now trying to change. Donald Trump and company had agreed to a set of rules. That was when Joe Biden was going to be the nominee. But now the Harris people want to change it. And they're talking about, oh, the mics being on or off. That's not the critical issue. The critical component of what the Democrats and Kamala Harris's team now want is for her to be allowed to bring notes to the podium. It says everything about this campaign. She simply isn't capable of defining the issues or discussing them intelligently without notes written by other people. Her entire campaign up until that Dana Bash interview was simply her reading other people's words off of a teleprompter. And we were told, oh, she changed her position on fracking. But we never heard that from her until just the other night. Surrogates said it, other people said it. And when she was asked to define and explain it, she said, well, my position in 2020. But her position in 2020 wasn't her own. She never said, I believe, or this is what I would do as president. She said, this is what Joe Biden believes. So we heard for the first time that she now is not for a total and all-out assault on natural gas development and fracking, but go back and ask about their position on liquid natural gas, etc., which even the Democrats in Pennsylvania opposed, but she supported. It all boils down to this. It's strength versus weakness. She has evidenced weakness, incredible weakness, on every issue that she's been asked to confront. She melted down in the debates that she was in as a candidate for president 4 years ago. I believe she'll melt down again on September 10th. But the American people need to be asking all the right questions, which is, where do you really stand? And why have you changed your position on so many issues? That, I believe, will be the defining element of the rest of this campaign. I'm going to be away next week in my native land, São Paulo, Brazil, for the Philadelphia Eagles versus Green Bay Packers opening game, the first NFL game ever played in South America. So next week you'll get a little 60-ish seconds from the tropics. I hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend and a wonderful holiday. And for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
Now we look at our 10-day forecast. It's looking a little bit like those Dallas Cowboys, is peaking in the 90s.